All right, guys, here we are on Entombed Valley, and down the bottom left part of it, tying things up for his team, it is our green Terran player, Lucifron. And in the upper right, in the pink from the team, it's GoSu. Playing from Australia, it is TAC3. A really good Zerg player down there. Used to be on FXO before he left the team.
Yep. And met him quite a few times at big events. So TAC3 is a very nice guy. Very easy to get along with in real life. So, unfortunately, it looks like he was just beaten by one of the better Zerg players in the world, but the king of the Southeast Asia region, Moonglade.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, in SEA, it's like Moonglade and TAC3 are like always vying, you know, for that top spot, and Moonglade seems to always just edge him out a little bit so far. So, I know they've got a big kind of friendly rivalry going.
And we'll see what TAC3's strategy is going to be on this map. We've seen quite a few TVCs in a row now. We started with Astoji versus Miko L, and then we went into, you know, a couple others after that as well. So I gotta think that TAC3's going to try and give him a different look.
Yeah, well, I'm actually really surprised he picked Entombed Valley. It's not generally a map Zergs really like, just because of the way that the third is. There's rocks between. It's a very narrow lane to run your units through, so it's very easy to get your third base isolated. You have to really try to take a fast fourth so that you can concentrate on defending that in the open area rather than your third base. So a very surprising map choice, I gotta say, from TAC3. He has a very unique way of playing ZVT though. He loves his Infestor. He's like one of the best Infestor users in ZVT out there right now. He likes to actually do an engagement where he burrows them, throws in some infested Terrans to draw siege tank fire, and then run in with everything. He's got great control when it comes to that, but you know, again, I'm just surprised about the map choice. It's hard to get to that point on this map, so we'll have to see if Lucifron decides to try to maybe take advantage of that.
We'll certainly find out, though, as it looks like he is going to go for a 1-Rax gasless fast expand, even putting that down on the low ground right away. So, of course, we've seen out of him a couple of different things, but usually lead into some sort of mass-based reactored Hellions as well. And, oh, look at that, even saving the gas from TAC3 there, not able to steal that.
Nice try.
Yes. And boom, there goes down the TT from TAC3.
Sad. A lot of these guys know each other and practice together quite a bit. I don't know if TAC3 practices with Lucifron, but they look fairly familiar with each other here. Now, it is cross-spawn, so that's going to be pretty good. Obviously, sometimes on the ladder you can spawn like close by air, and that gets a little bit dicey. The drone who knew too much.
That's true. Reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Man Who Knew Too Little. Ooh, are you a fan of the old Bill Murray comedies?
I've seen some of them, but not as many as I probably should have.
Oh, then we are watching The Man Who Knew Too Little ASAP.
Right. We'll have to do that.
All right, so factory coming down now for Lucifron. His base is just about to finish up once again, establishing a bunker. Now, this is a little bit weirder map because the massling strategy actually has an inherent advantage because of how wide this space is going into the natural. You can't just stick your bunker as close as possible to the command center because then all of this goes undefended. So you have to put that bunker a little bit farther out.
I think Lucifron knows, though, that TAC3 isn't really a big fan of that style, and we can see that already. I mean, TAC3 going for the spine crawler. You generally don't do that if you're going to be really aggressive and make a lot of lings early on. So TAC3 probably not going to do that aggression, so Lucifron should be just fine.
Yeah, and it looks like
that SCV knows too much.
He does. He sees absolutely no gas. As soon as Lucifron leaves, though, TAC3 starts putting down double gas.
And the SCV, doesn't make it out. Doesn't make it past the spine, but I'm sure he would have loved to check that third base location to see if TAC3 had went for a really fast third or something. And speaking of fast thirds, Lucifron making a third command center himself.
Dude.
Easy bake command centers. I'm hungry apparently right now.
Easy bake command centers. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Just put him in incineration zone for 20 minutes. Easy bake command center.
Man, you know what? If my sister is happening to listen to this, I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so and my sister is the youngest, so she would always make easy bake oven stuff, and we'd always be like, thank you so much. We appreciate it. But they were awful. Easy bake everything is terrible. And this isn't her fault. She followed the instructions correct.
Just the recipes, huh?
Yes. Easy bake, though, I can't give a recommendation.
All right. Well,
unfortunately, we may have lost Easy Bake as a sponsor.
I guess so. No more free Easy Bake ovens for us at IGN. Oh, well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, bummer. I love those things. I could just cook things in them. 4 gas for T-Gun, so...
Yeah, Lennox style.
Planning on doing, well, even more aggressive, really, gassing than Lennox usually does. He's going to make some stuff really fast. This is definitely T-Gun style. Going for the double Evo chamber, getting the Ling upgrades very quickly. Definitely going to see a infestation pit at some point. But wow, Roachhorn, yeah, just making a wall off here. He just does not want to have to deal with those Hellions at all, apparently.
Well, he certainly won't have to. That's a fact. He'll have to deal with a big push from Lucifron after that, though, on 3 bases.
Yeah, basically. So T-Gun's going to need to do some damage with this. It's going to set him behind a little bit economically.
No layer tech established either, so Lucifron going to have a pretty good number of Hellions out, but looks like he has finally started to switch off of that at 6. And looks like an Overlord trying to come in and sack itself. It is going to see the 3rd command center pretty critically. Yeah,
that'll be nice. It'll tell T-Gun that he needs to get in there and do something here. Going for that 3rd base as well. Oh, wow, the Hellions can even reach the Lings on the other side of the rocks. That's unfortunate.
Yes, they can. So going to delay that for just a little bit longer. And taking a look around now. What? Tech Lab? All right.
Just hanging out.
Just going to switch off and then use that later on for the siege tanks. But
probably
isn't going to use that while it's just kind of sitting by itself.
Yep. Nice creep spread so far from T-Gun. He's really doing a good job of getting that out there early in the game. It's so important, too. It's, you know, like I mentioned, the way the 3rd base was laid out, it's just so important to get everything connected by creep.
Yeah.
And that drone did not make it. He's helping out with the rocks. That's nice.
Yeah, very nice. Teamwork there. I appreciate that.
Cool.
So Lucifron's starting to produce quite a few units and prioritizing those Marines to double upgrades, as we kind of saw before. He does have the 3rd orbital commando and can float that over pretty quickly if he so desires. There's a lot of Lings out for T-Gun, though, actually going up to that infestation pit off of 2 bases for now. Tried to take a 3rd and is going to do so again, but just by that one drone getting picked off, it was delayed by another 30 or 35 seconds.
Yep. And it's tough to hold that 3rd anyway, so T-Gun's going to need to play pretty defensively. He's got his infestation pit on the way now, and he's going to need a little bit more to defend this, though. This is going to be a really strong attack. Marine Hellion. He's got a good amount of Lings out right now, but he's going to need to maybe make some Roaches along with this.
Oh, wow.
Losing 1 Queen and the 2nd Queen maybe as well.
There's a lot of Lings up that are actually setting up for a flank. They're ready to start coming up from behind as well.
Really nice
Lucifron stims up one more time, but everything going to get taken out. However, that came with the loss of a couple of Queens and a lot of Zerglings as well.
That was beautifully done, though, by T-Gun. I mean, he is one of the better players out there at kind of getting those really good positions in ZVT, and he needed that. Like, he really needed to just decisively own that army because he needed to deny the 3rd like we're seeing, and he also needed to secure his 3rd. So that was a big moment actually there for this game.
Siege mode is finished. Lucifron did not have that tank sieged up, though. It looks like he's going to go through the destructible rock, so he's a little bit short of reinforcement path and keep this full walled pretty much as long as he wants, to be honest. Taking a look, though, how many structures is he sitting on? Looks like he's adding on his 4th barracks finally. Could go over to 2-2 really any moment whenever he wants to allocate the resources.
Yeah, I feel like T-Gun, if he catches him unsieged, could actually just go in and defeat this army as well with those Lings, but he's not noticing really.
Yeah. He did get one of his Lings cleaned up as well, making sure there's no drops going on that he's worrying about. No, actually taking his 4th right now, kind of as we said at the beginning of the game.
Oh, wow, he drew a big stim out of Lucifron with that, too.
Yeah, he did.
That helps. And the medevacs are like, all right, geez.
Guess we'll heal you up. This is our job or something, I guess.
Yep. Really fast hive on the way for T-Gun as well. And, you know, he's already taking his 4th. Like I mentioned, you want to take a pretty quick 4th on this map because you want the fights to happen in that open area. You don't want to ever let the Terran army get anywhere near your 3rd base. So T-Gun, you know, playing this map like you should. And he's going to have a pretty strong composition here soon. He's already got Adrenal Glands on the way. He's going to be able to start 3-3 very soon.
And he's actually going to take the base that's hidden completely by destructible rocks. You don't see a lot of players going for that on this map.
I actually love to take this base when I play it. It's just because of exactly what you said. Not a lot of players will think to look there.
Yeah.
It's generally kind of left alone. But yeah, if you can handle that base, that's definitely one of the safer, later bases to take on this map is Zerg.
Very much so. Taking a look around now, though, T-Gun's creep spread, once again, continuing very, very well. Creep tumors everywhere across the map, really spreading those out, so being very effective with that creep spread.
Yep. So what it's going to come down to in the end is those big engagements, or are those big engagements. He's going to need to not lose too many units.
Oh, wow, actually picks up
drops.
all of his Marines.
Yeah.
All right, well, a drop coming in at the back of the 4th, and that is going to pick off a couple of spine crawlers as well. One of those gets canceled, one does not. The drones go down regardless.
Oh, and, that's not a good angle.
No, not a good angle at
there
all.
We go.
In fact, only one Marine fell down. A couple of scans to start cleaning up some creep tumors, though, so Lucifron trying to undo a lot of that work, but he is expending a ton of scans to get that done.
Yeah, and T-Gun just relying on massive, massive amounts of Zerglings. This is, I would say this, you could almost call this an SEA server style of ZVT, just huge, huge amounts of Zerglings. Moonglade does this as well, and it's not quite as widely used in places like Europe, NA, even Korea doesn't use this style. It's always fun to watch this type of ZVT.
And looks like another drop happening over here towards the main. It will get cleaned up as well. Lucifron going to pick up a few of his workers. Oh, but gets the medevac caught. Yep, unfortunately.
A lot of infestors out, too.
And there it goes. Medevac goes down.
Ultras.
Yeah, Ultraless Cavern is on the way now, along with 3-3 upgrades for melee units. And, of course, we'll see that chitinous plating started as soon as that Ultraless Cavern is done.
Yeah, so he's going to have a very strong, very upgraded army. Now, Lucifron has not been slacking at all in the upgrades himself. 3-3 on the way for his bio as well. And he does have a really nice siege tank spread. So, by no means is there any player with a big advantage in this game. It's still very, very even. Nice thing for T-Gun, though, is that creep spread, though. That's such a, look at how easy it is for him to pick off these groups of Lings, although one fungal for one Marine, that's not quite as efficient, although he did get the medevac, it looks like. So.
Yeah, it looks like that will eventually go down, but, get it, kill it! Oh, man. He's got to use another fungal on it.
Yeah.
3 fungals and one infested Darren for just one Marine and one medevac.
Yeah, in this case it's okay because he's got the time to regen the energy, but normally that's not quite as efficient as you would want to do it.
All right. Well, let's see here now as, there's been a little bit of harassment in this game, but there's been no real large-scale engagements. I mean, Lucifron made an earlier Marine Hellion attack, and that's the biggest action that we've seen so far. Oh, nice missile turret to go ahead and stop those infestors. Is he going to be able to pick them off? Yes! Well, throwing down the scan there.
Needs to pop out and fungal that. And actually, those infestors doing a good job of baiting those Marines out.
Yeah.
One Marauder left hanging as well.
That is true. So T-Gun, he's got a huge amount of infestors prepared, and looks like he's just going to try and engage these infested Terrans head on.
This is how nearly every one of T-Gun's ZVTs look. It's a very kind of unique way of playing it. He made the Ultraless Cavern, but look at this, going for a Greater Spire as well. So just kind of giving him the opportunity to switch tech up here and there. And Lucifron actually making Vikings right now. I think he's kind of assuming it's going to be Broodlords.
Yeah, but we know that chitinous plating is just finishing up. There are 144 Lings on the field right now. Both players are maxed out. T-Gun going to start swarming some units in. Planetary Fortress is certainly going to rack up a few kills here. And, of course, these Zerglings will eventually all die, but they do soften up the army a little bit and that front line. That's going to allow them to replace us with much more expensive units here in a second. So, let's see. Actually, 161 supply to 195, 44 Lings on the way, but of course 7 Corruptors have hit the field. Greater Spire going to finish it in 30 seconds. Oh, and at the same time, this drop, I apologize.
Oh, T-Gun. Okay. Well, losing one infestor.
Yeah, not too bad there.
Close.
But it did actually kill this base over at the top left-hand corner.
Yep. And, that attack, it wasn't really the best angle that T-Gun wanted to go for, but he did need to free up some supplies, so had to go for it. And he wasn't able to use Burrowed Infestors like he usually does because of the missile turret. Oh, nice catch there. With those
very, very well done.
It works out well. You can really tell Lucifron has played against T-Gun quite a while. Not many Terrans would be building missile turrets like that. Oops, lets him go.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2 of those medevacs are going to make it out of there. Yes. Merciful T-gun, but that's a lot of supply you could have caught right there. 7 Broodlords morphing in now, 4 more Corruptors on the way. Of course, ghosts are being started. Mobius Reactor, we can see, is coming up.
Interesting.
And there are 2 Vikings already out, 2 more being produced, and additional Ghost Academies. He is going to move into nukes.
Yep, going to be nuke play, which works pretty well against a Zerg who's very spread out. You can nuke a lot of bases. Works okay.
And let's see, as both players are maxed once again and banking a huge amount of resources. So certainly a game that could go on for a while. Lucifron going to redrop this base once again, though.
Yep. All right, so that's going to need to be canceled, it looks like. Hopefully canceled. Looks like he's going to try to save it. He's actually going to be able to. The Zerglings got there very quickly.
Lucifron not targeting down the hatchery, unfortunately, just going straight after the Zerglings, so gets everything cleaned up there.
And it looks like T-Gun's getting in position to siege up with these Broodlords. What a great location over that little pit there. But there have been Vikings being made for a while by Lucifron, and they're going to be able to go after those Broodlords right away. The Infestors not close enough to fungal.
No, and so a couple of Broodlords taking some damage. He does have Queens there, though. Try and transfuse those up as time goes along. Look at how many resources T-Gun has. Man, he has been really on top of making sure his mining is through the roof at all points.
Yep, and that's a planetary. But those are very upgraded Lings. They might be able to kill it. He doesn't get the complete surround. The NCVs can't repair.
Right,
And
very low.
Will
300,
he be able to get it?
100, and dead.
Wow,
Just barely the critical mass of Zerglings required to take out that planetary fortress. Of course, immediately replacing that with an additional 11 Corruptors.
Yeah, man, if you're going to have to sack some Zerglings to free up supply, killing a planetary with them is about as good as it can get.
Yeah, no kidding.
You hardly ever see Zerglings kill planetary fortresses. That's a rare occasion.
All right. Well, just checking around the bases here to see what's going on, as there are several mining bases for T-Gun as well, and those resources continue to pile up. He's going to have a lot of Corruptors and Broodlords on the field. Are
all his Queens still up with his army? Because looking at those bases, I didn't see a lot of Queens.
Yeah,
actually all 3 Queens out there. The thing is
that's not good.
Well, I mean, at this point in the game, it's actually okay, because you gain larva fast enough on those bases that you don't actually need the injects as much anymore. Oh wow,
good catch.
That was a bad day for that ghost.
Yeah, no kidding. Well done there, sir.
I can't believe you spotted that. Man.
There are a couple of nukes up, along with a third on the way here, so looks like he may want to try and do that.
He doesn't see these. Oh no! About half the Infestors losing all their energy.
Yeah, finally a few of those getting fungled, but the Infestors aren't really a factor right now, and the Vikings starting to drive away a few of those Corruptors, even going to land a few shots on the Broodlords. One of them, now 2 of them going down. Whoa, T-Gun's got to watch out. He's losing a lot of Broodlords here. He's more worried about this drop over at the top left, possibly, which is taking out a base.
Yeah, I feel like he had enough Corruptors to handle this, actually.
Yeah.
But, all right, that helps. He will kill a lot of Vikings there with that. Yeah, he definitely did have enough Corruptors, so a little bit of miscontrol from T-Gun there. He does lose a base. That is one disadvantage of going only Infestor Corruptor Broodlord, is that you don't have the Lings to come back and defend this.
And I apologize, but there was a nuke that landed before, and looks like it did take out a few drones, and continuing damage being done now to T-Gun. He's ready to lose this hatchery to nothing but nukes.
Yep. The Ghost can just shoot it a couple times.
Bye-bye. And it goes down.
Yep.
All right, so the Ghost will finally die, but not before it's certainly done its job. Taking a look around, make sure there's no more nuke launches, and no, there are not, as one Marine patrolling back and forth now. So Lucifron maxed. He doesn't have the resource bank that his opponent does, but he is sitting pretty comfortably on a lot of bases now.
Yeah, T-Gun switching things up a little bit. Just getting that flyer carapace, getting a Baneling nest as well. So he's going to be able to just kind of roll in with a bunch of Banelings, use the fungal growths to trap some units in place, ideally.
Yeah.
But he really needs to kind of slow down the economy of his opponent here. Lucifron is kind of getting to go a little bit crazy with the base making.
Yes, he is. And minerals being used pretty wisely on additional command centers so we can start to sack SCVs as time goes along. And looks like this Ghost not going to be able to get off a nuke quite. Oh, there it is, though, and that's the use of the scan. T-Gun's got to come back. I think he knows exactly where it's at.
He's going to have a problem getting that one. He needs to fungal that. Where is the Overseer? There it is. Okay, Overseer does get there in time. But more drop damage being done by Lucifron. You know, this is that kind of really aggressive drop style that we've kind of come to know from him. Yeah. He's doing pretty well.
Let's see here, though, as Lucifron, he does have 3 additional command centers, as we kind of pointed out before. There is a nuke hitting, And we'll find it. I'm actually not sure where that's at. Maybe in the middle of the map.
I think he canceled it. Yeah, I think he was trying to zone out the army, perhaps.
Okay.
But, or is it at the main? No, not the main. Yeah, I think he canceled it. Oh, never mind. He did not cancel it.
Wow.
He canceled those drones' lives. That's what he canceled.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, wow.
Holy mother of God. Okay, well, that was a little bit of genocide there.
It was just kind of similar to what MMA did to Stefano at IPL4.
Yeah.
Just was able to overwhelm him with nukes, with lots of drops. Oh, that's a lot of roasted drones.
These nukes are just hitting everywhere now. These ghosts are just piling up the kills. How many workers are left? Just 32 for TAC3. Of course, he has 1 million banked resources, but man, these nukes have been so effective.
Yeah, no kidding. Just getting overwhelmed. The same thing that happened to Stefano actually in that game is MMA was able to just kill off enough workers that it didn't really matter how many bases his opponent had. He just wasn't able to continue to make things, and that big immobile army wasn't very useful anymore at that point.
All right, well, let's see here now as Lucifron, he's making an additional 4 nukes. There's one that just got shot off as well. Going to hit this base again. Hopefully TAC3 sees that.
I don't think he does.
34 kill Ghost. Now
he
just
hates
became,
those
hey,
drones.
Overlord, how's it going? How's your day?
Oh, the Corruptor's like, hey guys, what's up?
Oh.
Bad time. We'll come back later, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding. Bye-bye, 53 kill Ghost.
Wow. All right, supply's still very even, but TAC3 kind of has this army that's big and scary, but not scary enough to defeat Lucifron's army.
Yeah.
And he's losing all these drones, all these bases. TAC3 completely falling apart here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
At the end of this game.
Lucifron still has a ton of nukes out, and he can use those to kind of zone out this army and get himself great positioning if he wants in the big engagement that's to come.
Yeah. 6 nukes still out for Lucifron, so he's not done yet.
Yeah, that's very true.
TAC3 realizes he just has to attack. He has to try to do something here.
And looks like Lucifron will lose that planetary fortress. Oh!
Nice fungal, wow.
Yeah, catches a ton of those ghosts. They do recharge back up, but another one hits. Even so, the ghosts were able to pick off a couple of infestors there as well, but he is chain fungling those, and it looks like they will eventually all die. No, still gets away with 3 of those intact.
Wow. Lucky break there for those 3 ghosts. And, oh, good fungal on the Vikings. The Vikings are going to go down very, very quickly. TAC3 with still a strong army in this case, but he needs to win the game with this army. It's over, man. I mean, he can't rebuild his economy after this.
Right.
He needs to win with this army.
And let's see if he's able to move out there. It looks like he's sniping out a couple of infestors, but not going to be all that effective. Planetary Fortress starting to rack up some kills. These tanks were forced to unsiege completely, and no more nukes hitting any of these bases around the left-hand side of the map.
Yep. And a lot of Corruptors out, a lot of Brood Lords. The Infestors still have a decent amount of energy, so TAC3 could still finish the game here at this point. He could remake some hatcheries as well, which is what he's doing, but he needs to make a lot more drones, which he can't spare the larva for at the moment.
Lucifron actually just going to counterattack with these, well, the tanks are pretty useless against the all-air, so he's like, might as well do something with them.
Yep, might as well. It's a bit of a base trade on our hands now.
Yeah, yes it is. There are still 5 nukes waiting around to be used, but the Corruptors are starting to push back that army ever so slowly. So yeah, we have a base trade, like you said, at about the 32-minute mark. A lot of the mining is being denied for TAC3.
And yeah, the Vikings getting owned pretty quickly by the Corruptors. The Broodlords, oh no, the Corruptors moving too far away. Huge mistake by TAC3. He's going to lose all these Broodlords now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think... Well, he does have quite a bit of resources, so we can start to morph in a few more Broodlords, but that was still a huge loss for him.
Yeah, and he's going to actually make 10 Broodlords right now.
But it is 130 or 140 supplied to 102 at the moment. Lucifron does have kind of the better, stable position, as we mentioned before, but worker count, he's about 12 workers ahead as well, which means that his opponent just has a massively much more crushing army.
Yeah, where were the 21 infestors in that fight? I mean, he needed those infestors to fungal the bio to keep those Broodlords alive, and they just weren't there.
Yeah.
He's got 10 more finishing, but he's going to need to be a little bit more careful with these. He still does have that supply lead, but he needs to win, again, with this army. It's just too difficult to re-drone at this point.
And it looks like TAC3 does realize that the nuke is hitting over here, starting to transfer a few of those probes away, or those drones away right now, so...
And TAC3, again, doing a good job of going after the mining bases.
Yep. And we'll see if he tries to nuke this army out, because he's certainly going to need to do so here in a bit. But TAC3 has run through all of his banked resources, doesn't have any really left over.
Yep. Well, it's do or die time. for both of these players, really.
All right.
They need a decisive win. One decisive victory will end the game. And I'm guessing that's up at the middle base. Yeah, there we go.
Looks like it is, so he's going to deny the mining there once again. TAC3 really not going to be able to get anything done there. He's retreating with the vast majority of his army for the moment, and looks like he does kill the ghost that was sitting over at the middle expansion. Okay, so taking a look at things, let's take stock. 6 ghosts, still 2 nukes remaining, 22 Marauders, 24 Marines, a handful of siege tanks, and a bunch of Vikings. But of course, he's going up against the 16 Corruptors of his opponent. So another nuke already hit this hatchery.
Continuously nuking these hatcheries, and at only 100-100, I suppose it is efficient-ish, I guess, but... Yeah, nuking empty hatcheries. I don't know about that. I mean, it does reduce the larva, but I think what he's trying to do is just this, pull the army back.
And let's see, we just heard another nuke go down as well. Yeah, okay, it looks like it's going to hit the middle expansion there, so we'll be driven away. And
look our larva.
Oh, it makes such the sweet, squishy sound. All right.
Yeah, just continuously nuking these hatcheries, and it's working. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but I suppose that's one way to do it. Yeah,
TAC3 just decided not to, you know, kind of try and go for the killing blow, though. Yeah. And unfortunately, that supply lead that he had, which was pretty significant, 102 to 141 at one point with a 12-worker disadvantage, meaning he had a lot bigger army, you know, wasn't able to get anything done, didn't feel confident enough to assault, and now finds himself down 12 supply.
I mean, his infestors didn't have as much energy as they could, really, but I wonder why he decided not to do that. You know, I mean... He didn't really have a lot of Zerglings to defend back home, things like that. Obviously, he was getting nuked, but, you know, I feel like he needed to be a little bit more aggressive in this case. He's still got a really strong army. I mean, don't get me wrong, but you know, I feel like he did miss a little bit of a timing there.
And looks like Lucifron going to make a big Marauder drop off to the right-hand side of the map at the same time that TAC3 starts to assault this force. And we'll see if Lucifron's going to need those forces. No, actually, TAC3 just pulling right back home.
Yeah, so hesitant. And I mean, he's not going to be able to get back to defend the damage that these Marauders are going to do. These guys are like professional building killers. And all right. Yeah, this Ghost isn't going to be able to nuke, it looks like.
Well, he's got to get one more of those fungals down, and does. So the nuke is canceled. At the same time, we have a big drop moving into the main, though, and it has already picked off the Oculus Cavern, going right after the Hive as well. That will effectively reset the attack for TAC3. It goes down.
Yep, and he might be able to just take out the Roach Warren on his way out as well if he wants to. Yeah. Oh, picking up an Infestor as well. That does help.
Yep, TAC3 was trying to fungal a couple of those units in place, but smartly now letting the Brewlords do the damage. Unfortunately, look at this. Look how strong these 3/3 Marauders are, just running around and picking off structures, and another hatchery is going to fall.
Marauders.
Oh,
and
look at this.
In the meantime, Duke hit that third. I don't know if TAC3 sees it. He needs to get this away. Boom! Oh, that was close.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been a lot of kills on that Ghost. A few more units starting to move up now as Lucifron is up by 16 supply. Significant advantage for him in terms of mining overall, as he is working off of 2 bases. I take that back a little bit. I thought this base was a little bit higher.
In the middle of the map, it looks like.
Yeah, a few units getting picked off there. Yeah.
Yeah, TAC3 needs to attack. He needs to get aggressive here. You know, he can't just sit here and defend his bases as they run out of resources. He needs to make something happen.
And the problem now, though, is that there are 7 Vikings being produced at a time. So when this round pops up, it's going to be 28 Vikings to just 16 Corruptors. Those Corruptors are sitting on +3 attacks at the moment. What are the Vikings at? +2, so certainly no slouch themselves. +3 is on the way. Well, all right. Can he get the oh, no, he's actually just going to go ahead and move into the range of those units. I was hoping he was going to try and launch one awesome nuke.
Yeah, things not looking too good for TAC3 at the moment here. And multiple nukes going down, one right there and another one somewhere else, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like over on the left-hand side of the map. Yep. All right, not one hitting there. This one will land, not going to do too much. Will harm the extractor and hurt the hatchery.
And another one right away. Wow. So Lucifron has just done a great job using these nukes to just kind of, you know, again, overwhelm his opponent. He's been able to kill so many drones, hurt the economy so badly for TAC3.
Yeah.
TAC3 has a lot of resources built up, but he's not taking more hatcheries because of the spread that Lucifron has as far as his Marines and his drops and his nukes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it very hard to re-expand as a TAC3 right now.
And there are no nukes completed. There we go. Finally, a few finishing up. Don't know what I would have done if there weren't any nukes on the field. Probably would have cried. T-Gun now morphing in a ton of Banelings. 23 of those at the moment. He is almost maxed once again.
Attack.
But it looks like Lucifer wants to make his way in. Pretty good fungals, though, hitting a lot of those Vikings. They are getting pretty low, but the corruptor numbers are getting destroyed, dismantled, obliterated. The anti-air for T-Gun is just non-existent now. And even though these are very, very low Vikings, there is still enough to push back the vast majority of the Broodlords.
Yeah, looks like he will be able to actually finish off those Vikings amazingly.
Yeah.
Able to hold off that attack, but, you know, again, he needed that army. I mean, he's not really mining right now, and his opponent totally is, even with those built-up resources. Those only last so long.
Right. And looks
this is
like
such a crazy game, though. Wow.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Supplies are about even for these two players now. But Lucifer, how many workers is he sitting on? 33. Where are they all at?
Just kind of various bases here, just mining a few patches here and there.
Yeah,
T-Gun actually with more workers right now, but less mining bases overall.
Right, and so, apologize. So the Marauder hit squad decided to run back up to the top, trying to kill a little bit more tech. Looks like he did get the, wow, 3 Marauders are so strong against buildings. Looks like he did get the spawning pool, so that's going to have to be restarted here in just a bit.
I really like Lucifron's plan of like nuking bases to half health and then dropping with Marauders to finish them off quickly.
Yeah,
that's actually a really smart thing to do. Whether it's intentional or not, it's a cool way how that kind of worked out for him.
Yeah. Oh, Snipes hitting a bunch of those infestors. Those numbers not really going to be able to be reproduced all that quickly. These are all going to become uncloaked ghosts here in just a second, though, as they get revealed one after another. Oh, but a Broodlord goes down. A second may fall here in a second. No, not quite. Down to just 16 hit points.
Oh, man. Actually did just lose that Broodlord to that ghost that he should have killed, but he was flying away. Oh, one Marauder hops out of a medevac and like Optimus Prime in the cartoon movie from the 80s, he like vaults over and shoots the hatchery with one shot.
And it just explodes. Man. Well done. Oh, pretty good catch there. The Overlord's masking that medevac, but it's not going to be able to get away, so that annoyance finally going to get cleaned up. T-Gun, though, basically down to 1 base, and if I'm honest, there's not many resources left there.
Yeah. Did that medevac die?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yep, sorry. Boom.
Okay. And new Ultralisk Cavern on the way, and another big army moving out here for Lucifron. This time it's just straight up Marine Marauder medevac. He knows that the infestors don't have as much energy as they did before, and he's going to try to take advantage of that.
All right, well, here he comes as T-Gun running in with a few of these Zerglings. They are on 3-3, and he does hit a couple of fungals, but Lucifron has just way too much firepower now, and he's starting to force T-Gun back. T-Gun with a few fungal growths remaining, and he does pick off a couple more units, but I don't know if that alone is going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. No other real offensive units other than the infestors out. They're all fairly low on energy here. A couple fungals left.
Yeah.
Will it be enough?
He is actually going to be able to clean up this force. The Ultralisk Cavern is almost done. That's what he's saving up his resources for at the moment.
Yep, he wants to be able to at least get a few Ultras out. He needs them. Yeah. Definitely. He actually killed quite a few medevacs with that, too.
Yes. Yes, he did. So 86 applied to 96, and the game goes on.
The game does indeed go on. What a crazy ZVT.
Yes. At about 45 minutes now, scouting medevac is scouting. It sees that there's another base that's going up, long-range mining being done. T-Gun's starting a few Ultralisks now, but there's already a good number of Marauders on the ground.
Yep. More ghosts as well. So, you know, it's so tough for both of these players right now. I mean, Lucifron at least has a decent amount of bases. He can just kind of make SCVs out of those, and then they just kind of start mining automatically. T-Gun's got a little bit of a harder time here. He's got to choose between making hatcheries, making workers, making offensive units, and overall, he just doesn't have enough to do it all.
Oh no! Wow, sniping!
It's a massacre.
Sniping out those infestors, so good.
Yep.
This ghost, though, he is going to get the nuke down. It's going to kill a Spore Crawler.
Yep. And a Creep Tumor.
Oh, he did get a Creep Tumor.
Killed that too, he did, yeah.
Very true, very true.
Give the ghosts credit, man. Killed the Creep Tumor as well.
Ooh, got an infestor there, so Ghost not looking so shabby anymore.
Oh.
All right, well, he's going to make his way up to the left and unfortunately get picked off. Cloak going to get revealed as well.
Yep. All right, so one mining base. The continuously one mining base style from T-Gun moves its way across the top of the map.
Yeah.
And you know, he's surviving, but he's just not really able to do anything to his opponent. You know,
believe it or not, he will be able to starve his opponent out of the game before he does if he's able to hold on to these bases for any significant period of time. But we are now approaching the 50-minute mark in this game.
That's getting very, very long. What's the longest game we've ever casted? What was it, 54 minutes?
Bill.
Was that the longest, though?
Hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, that's right. It was an hour and 30 minutes. All right, so we've got a while yet before we get to that point.
No, wait, where's that nuke hitting? Oh, here it is. Oh, but the ghost is going to die. Yeah, no, we're only about halfway to Bill, so...
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we've got a while yet. Hatchery taking quite a bit of damage. Bye-bye.
Yep.
All right, well, still this hatchery mining quite a bit. Income rates for our two players significantly in favor of Lucifron now, and he's starting to rocket ahead in supply, 170 to 110.
Yep, Lucifron, I think, is getting to the point where he'll be able to make a big push and end the game here. T-Gun's done a good job of just surviving, but I don't think he's going to be able to end up taking out Lucifron in the end of this game.
Yeah, I don't either, so... We'll certainly find out, though, as T-Gun continuing to take a little bit of damage there, losing yet more drones, more mining. About even workers, our two opponents here, but, you know, a couple of burrowed infestors just being sent to these bases down around the bottom right-hand corner of the map.
Why not?
It's done a lot of economic damage.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, getting those fungals on there. That is a scary army, though, from Lucifron.
Oh, speaking of burrowed infestors, I think about 1 million of those just blew up.
It could be.
All right, well, let's see here. It looks like... T-Gun's trying to go through the destructible rocks. Ultralisk are very good at taking down destructible rocks. Note to self, Hive-Tech dies once again. Ultralisk Cavern dies once again. And
Spire dies once again.
There it goes. Another drop over at the top left-hand corner as well. Things starting to come unglued now for T-Gun.
Yeah, about 100 supply down at this point. Lucifron's gotten enough SCVs over time to start producing a good amount of units consistently again.
Yeah.
And yeah, T-Gun just does not have the larva, most importantly, to make enough units. He has a decent amount of money, but just not enough of anything else. This attack is unfortunately not going to push back Lucifron.
No,
and I think we're going to see the end of the game here.
There it is. T-Gun going to lose the last few units here. He only has a handful of infestors trying to run those away. There's the GG. Very well played. And Lucifron has put Karont3 just one game away from advancing into Team Arena Challenge 3.